Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Think Tank Sports, Think Tank Sports, where we think and you listen. Check us out on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, on Twitter, on the Insta. Also, check us out on YouTube here. And we're doing YouTube Live. Once again, we've had a little shift in how we're doing things here at the end of 2023 and going forward. So, give us your feedback. We would deeply, deeply appreciate it. And we're grateful to be coming to you live from my podcast studio in my home. Still working on a lot of the um, effects and technical issues that I'm not proficient in. So just bear with us there if you would. But I'm here today to talk about the NBA Cup and how exciting the basketball has been. If you listen to Monday's stream, you heard me talk about and compliment the NBA for playing this tournament at this time of year. And I was skeptical of that going in, but it's certainly been very interesting. The players seem engaged. Money's on the line, pride's on the line. So, and a trip to Vegas is on the line. Um, so I do have, Tuesday last night, the NBA played a bunch of games, and I would say I was disappointed that they were all on at the same time, except for the Warriors, Kings, and Mavs and Rockets. So I think they missed the boat with not spreading out those games. They certainly could have done a 5 p.m. Eastern, 7:30, and 10:30 for the West Coast. But other than that, we had some really compelling games. I won't go over them all. My Celtics took care of the Bulls, 124-97. Of course, the human grasshopper there, Christoph Porzingis, is hurt, and he did not play. But Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum had great games, and the Celtics are playing some very good basketball right now and seem to be the cream of the crop in the East. Of course, we know regular season doesn't mean anything until we get back to the playoffs and prove what the Celtics could do. The Bulls, in my opinion, are a little bit of a listless organization. I think you'll see them move DeRozan and Vukovic and maybe some other assets before too long here as the season goes on. Um, the Cavs beat the Hawks 128-105. Cavaliers are a nice little basketball team. Donovan Mitchell, of course, leading the way there, but they're put together very well. I like the mix of players with Jared Allen and Max Strus and Garland. Those guys play a good team game. They have a decent bench, and they're one of those teams that are going to be pretty good. They're going to be one of the better bad teams. They're not even a bad team, but they're going to be one of the top middle teams, if you will, in the NBA. Nets beat the Raptors. I don't think either one of those teams are heading anywhere long term, but the Nets do move on 115-103. The Timberwolves beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in a tight little game, 106-103. The Timberwolves, really have played, I think, above or ahead of schedule the last few years, but this year's kind of a prove it year for this group, right? With Gobert and Towns and Anthony Edwards, they need to take a leap into that next echelon. Problem is, the West is very, very good, so it's going to be tough for them. One of the games I wanted to focus on a little bit more, the Knicks. We have a lot of Knicks fans listening. We appreciate that. The Knicks 115-91 over the Charlotte Hornets. It wasn't that close, as they say. Um, First of all, from the Hornets' perspective, I'm just not sure where they're going to go either. They're kind of in basketball purgatory. They're good enough to win a middling amount of games and never be at the top um, of the NBA lottery and get a superstar. but they're bad enough where they're really not taken seriously by anybody. I like Bridges as a player. I like Gordon Hayward before he had that horrific injury in Boston. And so, the Hornets, um, unless you live in Charlotte or are related to someone on the team, probably not a lot of people going to watch. But the New York Knicks really put together well. One of the stories for me is Julius Randle flourishing, even though he's not, the ball doesn't always go through him. The past few seasons, it would be uh, bring the ball up, dump it into Randle. Everyone move to the other side of the court, dribble down till there's 5 seconds on the shot clock, make a wild shot, or make a last second pass to probably an angry teammate who had to put it up. Not playing that way anymore. And last night he had 25 points and 20 rebounds, um, 5 assists. Just played a very, very good basketball game, obviously. But the rest of his team, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes, and Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has a tremendous basketball IQ, tremendous player, and doing great things for that team. And then their bench, of course, you have Josh Hart and DiVincenzo, which I think are two very good glue guys and also high basketball IQ guys getting it done. And Emmanuel quickly is your irrational confidence guy. He comes off the bench firing, and just I'm going to score, and you're not going to stop me. And last night he had 23, 23, 3-1. So not a lot of passing, but still, that's not why he's on the court. He's there to fill it up. So I think this Knicks team is probably, and we'll do a tier maker later on, probably after this NBA Cup is over. But the Knicks team is right up there in the top in the East. There's very few teams I would put ahead of them. The Celtics, the Bucks, probably, the Heat, maybe. But I think they're better than Philly right now for sure. So I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but still, Knicks fans have a lot to be excited about now. Is Thibodeau going to grind them into the ground? We'll see. Uh, long season, they got to stay healthy, but a lot of optimism in MSG for the first time in a long time. And then one of probably the best game so far I've watched in the NBA. Granted, I have not been able to see a lot of the Laker games or some of the West Coast games that have been very good. Basically, because I'm old and I can't stay asleep or stay awake. Um, but was the Bucks and the Heat. The Heat playing without Jimmy Butler, unfortunately. But the Bucks and the Heat really got at it last night. High level basketball. The Bucks, of course, trying to figure out um, this Dame Lillard, Giannis. Is Chris Middleton the third scorer? I'll tell you right now, the answer is no. I think he's been overrated for a long, long time. And when playoffs and high pressure comes, he's just not the answer. Brooke Lopez is really nice. Bobby Portis, of course. Um, they're trying to figure out who, that third scorer and who's going to lead the second team when they have to go out and put their minutes in. So a work in progress, but still, when you have Giannis and Lillard, you're going to be in every game, and they certainly were in this one. And then, when you get to the Heat, they're starting Kevin Love. He's not playing a ton of minutes, but a nice little spot for him to start. And Bam Adebayo has really gotten to a level in his career that I didn't think he had. I thought he had plateaued a few years ago, a banger, rebounder, but I didn't think he would score at the level he has. And so I'm impressed with what he's done and the work he's put in. Last night he had 1 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, a really, really nice game. Duncan Robinson was out there chucking him up. Of course, Kyle Lowry, who, if you've listened to Think Tank Sports for the 3.5 years we've been around, I think he is overrated, but he fits in well with this team. When he was in Toronto and felt like he had to be the scorer, um, I just felt like he dribbled the ball into the paint and tried to make a miracle happen or get fouled. He didn't really have an offensive game, but here in Miami, he's really done well. Um, you got your boy Jaime Jaquez there, the UCLA former player, looking like Indigo Montoya with the headband, and he's got the mustache and the beard, and you know, I'm looking for the six-fingered man. He's looking for 6 points off the bench, but he has high basketball IQ. Miami just doesn't miss on those types of players. And Caleb Martin, one of the more unsung players last year on the Heat, and continues to put in solid minutes, score 14 points for them. So Miami will be around at the end, especially when Jimmy Butler gets healthy and back on the court. But this was a good, and this was a game that probably would have been played at 20% less uh, intensity and effort level if it wasn't for this NBA Cup and this tournament. I thought that in particular, this game of uh, superstars on both sides, teams with aspirations for an NBA championship, uh, really got at it after it, and they had a good game, and it was fun. If you can catch the highlights on NBA TV, they do a great job of running back games like this. So check that out. The Mavericks beat the Rockets 121-115, and the Kings beat the Warriors 124-123. Another high-level basketball game where both teams were super intense. And, the Kings have a big second-half rally after being down 24 at one point. De'Aaron Fox scores 29. My boy Kevin Herter has a nice game. Former Shenandoah High School star, which I am an alumni of, class of '89 for me, 2016 for him. So didn't quite see him in the hallways, but still like to follow his career. Actually, his father played at our rival school, Burnt Hills, and and then played at Siena College here in the Albany area where I'm from. Anyway, Domantas Sabonis, nice game also with 10 assists. He's a excellent passing big man. Sacramento, gets contributions. Harrison Barnes continues to be just a solid veteran off starting for them. I really like that Sacramento team a lot. They kind of caught people by surprise last year. This year, that won't be the case, but I do expect them to be around. They remind me of Denver a few years ago, where, of course, they don't have a joker, but still, De'Aaron Fox can really be the star for them going forward. And then, the Warriors, it's more of the same old Warriors, but why change it? When healthy and when engaged, a tremendous basketball team, and it's becoming a Wiggins team more than a Curry team. And I think you're going to see that metamorphosis as the season goes on. Wiggins has 29, 10, and 3 last night. Klay Thompson puts up 20, 9 rebounds and 2 assists. He goes 3 for 9 from 3. Steph goes for 29, 10, and 6. He goes 4 for 12 from 3. And that's probably those two not shooting great from 3 or not shooting what their usual averages are. You say it was 1 point. Was that really the difference? Yeah, it was, because those missed threes and those long rebounds allowed Sacramento to get out, get in their offense, get down the court, and do what they do to erase that deficit. So I think both these teams will be around at the end of the NBA season and have to be dealt with. And that another game that, again, I think was played at 15 to 20% more intensity, more engagement by the players and the coaches because of this championship cup. So Um, we're down to 8 teams now in the Championship Cup tournament, and we're heading towards 2 days of quarterfinal action. So on Monday, December 4th, next Monday, you're going to have the Celtics at the Pacers at 7:30, and then the Pelicans at the Kings at 10. Both games, I think Celtics and Kings seem like they're definitely going to be the favorites, the betting favorites. And if they stay engaged uh, and intense, they're going to prevail and face each other. And then Tuesday, you have the aforementioned New York Knickerbockers at Milwaukee. That could be just a war. That could be just a tremendous, tremendous basketball game. Both teams loaded with championship aspirations in this tournament and at the NBA season level. And also, both teams probably want to make a statement to the other, I would think. So that could be, that could be appointment television next Tuesday, the 5th. And then the night game also should be very, very good. The Suns and the Lakers, two teams we didn't talk about yet. So those are your 8 teams that are left. They will eliminate 4, and then we will get to Thursday the 7th. So this all ends next week, folks. They'll be in Vegas at that point, so you'll get your four winners. They'll play on Thursday the 7th at 7:30 and at 10 on ESPN and TNT, respectively. And then Saturday, December 9th, will be the championship at 8:30 on ABC. And that's a good timing because college football's regular season and championship games will be done. I think you still have Army Navy that day. And the bowl season will not have started in earnest yet. You might have the occasional Meineke Car Care Bowl or the Bahamas Bowl or whatever that day, but that's very well scheduled by the NBA. Again, I keep throwing flowers at the front office there, which is not my usual uh, outlook when it comes to these leagues and their upper management. But again, think this is well scheduled and that the NBA will do a good job presenting these games and the championship. Uh, I'll be interested to see what the court looks like in Vegas. Obviously we've seen all these funky courts and all these funky uniforms. Some of them are just awesome, and some of them are just atrocious. And it's really been hit or miss. I know it's all about merchandising. They're going to sell those jerseys like crazy. So you got throwback jerseys, you got tourney jerseys, you got regular season jerseys, you got warm ups. You have all kinds of options. Even for the older standard teams like the Lakers and the Celtics and the Knicks and Sixers, who, pretty much have had the same uniform, the Bulls, forever. You have some options now to buy at the NBA shop or wherever you get your gear. This is not a commercial for the NBA or the NBA shop, but if they want to throw me a few dollars, I'd be happy to keep talking about them. Anyway, so if you're a basketball fan, and certainly if you're an NBA fan, I hope you're engaged in these games in this tournament and watching them in earnest, because it is a lot of fun. And as we get down to these championship level games and semifinals, it could be very intense and very interesting. And so far, we haven't had the major injury, and I don't say that to try and jinx it, but I think in my mind I compared this a lot to the World Baseball Classic and Major League Baseball, and that tournament that they put on, and of course, they had some major injuries in the World Baseball Classic, including of course, the closer for the Mets that essentially sunk their season before they even got on the field in Edwin Diaz. We haven't had that in the NBA, in this tournament. We have some people sitting, like Jimmy Butler and those Porzingis, but not really a superstar that has a long-term injury. So we hope that keeps happening, that they all stay healthy, but also play with intensity and commitment. So that's it for the NBA Cup and the NBA in general. Like I said, I think after the Cup is over, we'll do a tier maker and put some teams in perspective. I'll try to get someone on to help me with that, and go from there. Of course, the NBA will take a little breather after December 9th. They'll still have the regular season games, of course, but then they'll have the big Christmas schedule that they always have. And the games will have more intensity as the season goes on. So anyway, thanks for listening here at Think Tank Sports. Again, bear with us with the technical issues, especially the background that I will somehow figure out how to change so you're not looking at my bedroom. But again, tell your friends and family about it. It's a good time talking sports with you. I appreciate our tens of fans and all that, the support and feedback. Please check in with us on the X, the Facebook, and I said the Facebook and the Instagram as we continue here at Think Tank Sports, where we think and you listen. Have a great night, everybody.